Marty's like, Mom, I was in the house and I ate a little bit, but I want Marty. He just swatted Tux. He just doesn't know how lucky he is that Tux just doesn't put him on his backside. Because trust me, I seen Tux do it. Come on, Tux. Hi. Well, here comes Morris. Hi, buddy. Hi. Hello. Okay, Tux, let me set this down. Hi. Let me set this down and, I mean, you can eat over here if nobody else is over here, but your chicken's not over here. Your chicken's up there. Well, the chickens, to the best of my knowledge, have not been down in the yard today. I don't hear, you mean, you know, with the leaves up there and they're all dry and everything, you can really hear them coming when they come. Don and I are going to go walk here in a bit. We have plans to go to the GlasStation demo in Farmville, North Carolina. That's about 90 minutes away. This evening, we usually try to attend that at least one time in the fall season. They don't do it in the summer because the GlasStation and working with the glass gets too hot. They do it in the fall. So October, November, December are prime times to go see a demo. And the Christmas lights at Lake Myra are sort of in that direction. They're out that way. So we plan to go see the Christmas lights, although the demo is from 6 to 9 and the Christmas lights turn off at 10 and it's like 50 minutes back to the Christmas lights. So hopefully the demo won't really go until 9 and we can, or we'll leave around 8:30 to make sure we've got 30 minutes on the ground at the Christmas lights. I'm just noticing it's changed a lot more and I'm enjoying the color. Enjoying the color. I'm noticing some new growth on the camellia, which I had topped these just a little bit to keep, you know, them from getting tall, spindly, just a little bits here at the top, but there's new growth on this one and there's new growth on that one back there, and you know, it's December, so I'm a little surprised. I thought that this had rooted, but I'm really not so sure if it's alive now or not. And from my window, I was noticing how ugly this looked over the side of the pot, so I'll pull it out. Mostly I walked over this way to fix my flag. Everything's doing good out here as far as I know. So we had some chilly weather coming, and you know, I'm going to have something to say about that, I guess. But, you know, a wind and a low of 21 is a little cold for us. And right up here with people doing last minute shopping, it would be nice if it wasn't. Hi, Gray. Hi. Hi. Hello. How are you? How's my good girl? Hi, sweet pea. Hi. I washed my hands after I petted those boys. Okay, I confess, I'd really like to see the sun out today. Not really happening. We're out here, but it's just not cheery today with all these clouds. I mean, it's just kind of gloomy. I thought I was going to be okay with what I had on, but I was cold, so I got my emergency jacket out of the frunk, and I'm better now. Have on my knit hat, keep my head warm. Some days are harder to get out here than others. Today is one of those days. Okay, Donnie, you tell me that you never dream.
Oh, I ain't gonna tell you anymore next time I dream. So I really have very few dreams and almost never can remember the dream. But last night, or this morning I guess it technically was, when I woke up, I was dreaming about I was Taylor Swift's Fix-It Man. Whatever she needed fixing, I fixed. Her Christmas lights, her sink, you know, just
took her car in for service.
Her car, plugged it in for her, all these kinds of
And I said, that must mean that I'm Taylor Swift.
That's right.
Because when he was describing all of these duties he performed,
Right, exactly.
those are all the things you do for me, Donnie.
Pretty much, exactly.
Aren't y'all impressed with him that he even knows who Taylor Swift is?
I don't, literally, I'm not a Swiftie. And I only know that term because Marianne uses that term.
Well, we've heard it on the news around election time. I don't use that term. I'm not a Swiftie either. I like some of Taylor's music, though. So, a follow-on to that comment that I made to Don is that, you know, there really weren't very many women at the Iona event yesterday. I think we could come up with two women there, two other women there with their husbands.
Yeah.
Older women like myself, and the two women that were doing all the food truck stuff from Zulia. I'm sure it was the owner and somebody else, or maybe they're a family team. That happens a lot with these food trucks. So I guess when I step back on that just a little bit, that might have been a little disappointing. There's a red S, silk chrome, older. But yeah, I guess because I participate in Tesla Divas and I'm hearing what women say all the time about their driving experience, I think, you know, 5 zillion women are driving EVs, and it probably still is a little more men. It'd be interesting to have some numbers on that. But you know, one of the reasons why I started the channel and have made so many videos was to try to help out other women, to show them when I was taking the boys to school and driving, basically commuting a good distance, that it was very doable. I mean, I never ran out of charge, and the biggest problem I ever had was flat tire and missing a piece of pipe rolling off of a truck toward me. So I think that was a pretty good experience there. Now we're gonna walk the trail and see what's going on with it. Don saw somebody coming out on the other end. They have not closed it back off after they pave, so we'll see how far we can get and what it looks like. I am not looking to the right. I am not inspecting the fence line. I will not look. I thought y'all'd appreciate that. Well, it's open.
Yeah.
They didn't remove the fencing or cones, but it's open.
Yeah.
So I guess we're gonna keep walking.
I agree, 100%. Adventure.
All right, well, I've actually heard a bird and had, until that, the blower, I've actually had 5 minutes of peace and quiet on our walk today. I'm feeling more calm. Well, there's the pavement. And Don and I are both in agreement that it's a bummer they're not going to put a bridge over the creek here. And that, of course, they're not going to do that because the park bond got voted down. I guess that was in the spring at the primary when they had the bond. Or last year in November. So, no bridge crossing. I did see when we drove through the neighborhood yesterday, Donnie, that they've planted grass seed down that corridor with straw.
Huh?
So definitely not a preparation for paving.
I would like to point out that today's the 20th of December, first day of winter, official. So these guys finished it, quote, this fall.
Okay. I would say this looks basically how it looked before, except for there's 8 to 10 feet more clearance on this side of the trail. They've even filled in on the side, Donnie, with an attempt. Keep us from busting our ankles if we fall off the walk off the trail. Oh wow, they even fixed the light pole. Well, you know that was a different crew than the guys that did the paving. Neat. We're at the other end now, and it's open both ways and totally paved. I guess it would be nice if they put fresh on this ending strip here, even though it's mostly okay, but we'll take what we got. An open trail, mostly paved. It's going to be a little difficult for the guys to mow along the side unless they do some additional smoothing. I threw about 20 heavy rocks down the hill so the lawnmowers won't hit them, and probably about 10 large branches. We left a few things along the side for the next walk that we couldn't accommodate this walk. And I have gotten some exercise now. I am appropriately out of breath. And I have lifted heavy things today, which Dr. Berry and Dr. Baker say is good for us. And I got my jacket dirty. So we'll be throwing that in the wash. Hi. I took out my aggression on the... Our house is still looking good up here. So I am making, we'll call it kielbasa chicken soup. There's no chicken in it, it's just chicken broth. Fresh broth from the chicken I made for the cats the other day. Vidalia sweet onion, lots of garlic. Lots of garlic. The organic grass-fed finished kielbasa stuff. I don't worry about processed meat per se, especially if it's clean. People have been curing meat since forever, and cured meat's fine. But I'm going to put spinach and broth and seasoning in there now, and we're about ready to enjoy it. Don's got him. You can't, have a meal and not have some bacon. See that nice broth? Now I will remove the fat cat because there's some bacon grease in there for seasoning, flavor, and this would be, too much. Now see how the broth is like gelatin? It's not liquid. It's actually looks like Jell-O. That's because there's real collagen in there from the bones. It's really good stuff. If you're eating broth and it doesn't make Jell-O like that, it tastes like broth, but it's not really broth. It's just a little after 4, and we are headed to the GlasStation demo in Farmville, North Carolina. It's basically toward Raleigh and east. So we often go in the fall or winter holiday season of the year, and tonight's the night. It's the last one for the year. I think they do it what did it say? Third weekend? Third Friday? I think it's the third Friday is how it works out. Should be a fun time. And like I said, this morning we've got plans to stop and look at some Christmas lights on the way home. So while we're out in that direction, there's other things to look at.
So we're going to try to go all the way with no interventions. She just made a really good left turn out of the neighborhood there onto a 401. That that's a tricky curve even for a person. There's a lot of traffic through there, and it pops over that hill. She did perfect. It's some fair amount of traffic, as you can see. It's Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
So this is getting close to some of the more difficult traffic conditions in Fuquay.
Right. It's also a lot of people. This is their end of their working for the year.
Yeah, a lot of people are off next week.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
So she's sitting here on the red light, and there's a steady stream of cars, and she's going to pull out in front of that dump truck. Yeah,
he wasn't moving. He wasn't hauling, and she did call. Maybe she timed it because she knew the light was turning.
Yeah, well, I would say I would have done the same thing, because I would want to be stuck behind that. The vision of a rock in the windshield for Christmas.
Wow, this went up fast here. This is what we needed.
They're going to put another one just like it right beside it.
Yep, I can tell. I'm thrilled. You know I am. So I got the video done with Gray, and
I got a nap.
Dawn took a nap. Well, you're the one driving. I can nap in the car. I try to stay awake with Dawn, but since I know you had at least an hour, something like that.
Oh yeah, I had a good hour.
Yeah, so if I fall asleep, I don't have to feel too bad. The only thing I didn't manage to squeeze in today was a bag or two of Home Alone. Oh well, the Lego build. Maybe tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow.
This is fifth or sixth a Tesla in this line of traffic.
Yep. About 5 Teslas and a Lucid. And a Lucid. Yeah, my point is that technically we're sort of out in the country. And there's no country here anymore.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah, enjoy all these trees and see, because when we come through here in 5 years, it'll be all apartment buildings and subdivisions.
Yeah. We're just the other side of 4042. Just the other side of Michelle's house. Wow, the landscape's changed so much. I didn't realize where we were on Highway 42 anymore. This is 4042 coming up here. That was back by Highway 50 where it crosses 42.
Right.
Yeah, I feel for the people trying to get in and out of wherever they're supposed to be over on this part of Wake County, because
now this is a super intersection up here.
Yes, this is one of those diverging diamonds.
Thank you, diverging diamonds.
Right. I don't like change, and I'm not impressed.
But now she
and I'm too old to care about hiding. How I feel about it.
Now,
it says you're going to bear left onto I-40 in 0.5 miles. Is what it's telling you. I think she came through this intersection okay the last time.
Okay.
Well, what's the worst that happens? We keep straight on 42 and she'll reroute us, because there's lots of ways to get where we're going, and we did not leave late. We have a little cushion. So.
It's just with all these new, I mean, this is a total different road. At least she didn't want to go right to get on 40, because this, I think
she's moving you left. She appears to be handling it very nicely done. I have trouble up here heading in the other direction, because for 20 years you had to get one way in the road to go straight, and now you have to get in the other lane. And every time Michelle's with me, because that's usually why I would be over here, I'm like, okay, which lane? Because I can't keep it straight. They changed it. Coming soon, your Iona rechargery. Well,
there it is.
The next place was supposed to be in Garner. And yeah, you got your picture ready, Donnie? Yeah, I just read at the start of our trip that Iona has 4 other rechargeries opening. Kansas City, Texas, Garner, North Carolina, because their headquarters are here. And we're also, I'm going to just go out on the limb and say, next to several cities in California and maybe some places in Colorado, we have more EVs here than anywhere else.
Well, that stupid car.
Right. Well, it's fine. I forgot the car
that was a speed limit thing. She's thinking the speed limit is 35.
Right, on that on-ramp, sure. Well, you got plenty of room to pass him out here, or she does. So
well, it's a what do you call it? You didn't have to merge. It was a free-flowing
lane.
At this point now, it's going to go away, but that was not.
And she thinks it's 50. She still thinks it's 35, but she's doing 55. Oh, you have you've got your foot on the accelerator.
Yeah, well, I ain't going to get past
well, you
anymore.
could tell her the speed limit is more. Now she just changed it to 70. I found multiple times when merging onto faster moving roads, the turnpike, the 540 on the way to the chiropractor, she is not recognizing the speed limit of the interstate for, let's just say, a half a mile. And I have to bump it up every time, and we've got to fix that. We cannot have Teslas being below the speed limit for any appreciable amount of time. And for starters, it's dangerous, and it's just not right. This is one of those times where you have absolutely no clue what road you're on or where the car is taking you, but the car is getting you where you need to be. So we're trying to take let the car choose the route it wants approach today.
Yeah.
Well, it saved us some time coming through Fuquay and took us in an entirely different way than we're used to going to get through town. And we're just going to get on I-95, and she's picked the way that causes the least traffic.
Yeah, well, the 70 that we were on, I would have thought was going to hit 95 somewhere. So I'm surprised she got us off early, and then routing us through town, traffic lights, hustle and bustle Friday afternoon, and then we're going to get back on 95. So that's the part that's not exactly clear to me why she's doing this. I mean,
I trust there's a reason.
Right. Well, she didn't show red, so I don't know.
Right.
I mean, because we're going right down through downtown Smithfield.
Yeah? Is that where we are?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on Selma.
Right by the ABC stores.
Right by the big grain refinery and the old train depot.
Yeah, but the ABC store is the biggest store in town.
Donnie. Gather, shop, celebrate. Selma. Dawn has not had to take over yet.
No. And I've not even come close. She's done a couple things that I would have done a little different, but they weren't unsafe. They weren't even highly sketchy. They were just different.
Right. Well, we just saw a Tesla parked on the street here in Selma. Now, if we pull up in Farmville tonight, and there's another Tesla owner in Farmville on the old Main Street down there, I will just be like, wow.
We have gone.
Look at the size of those silos up there. There's a nice old caboose you can visit. Okay. Oh, Donnie, they are restoring the train depot.
Hold on to your teeth.
I'm good.
3 sets of railroad tracks and a performance Y, baby.
We're coming back to check out the train depot.
Okay.
They are restoring the old train depot. I'd like to go back to Hamlet again.
Yeah.
Down to the take a visit to the Rockingham supercharger, and
yeah.
That was very nicely restored. We had a good time that day. Hey Donnie, if we keep going, we'll end up in New Jersey.
That's right, we would. But I don't want to be up there with all those drugs.
That's right. We're on I-95 for 16 miles until we get on 795. So we haven't been to the Wilson supercharger, but when we come back through to go see Lake Myra tonight, we should be downtown somewhere over in here. So maybe we can swing by the supercharger.
Yeah, it may not be very much out of the way.
We're here. It's about 10 minutes until the demonstration gets started. I'm noticing that Mike has a couple of different green colors over here.
That doesn't mean it'll be green.
It doesn't?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
It's
Christmas.
Oh, well, duh. But that other one could be, the blue could turn red.
I think they're green.
Oh?
Did I ask for commentary from the peanut gallery?
No, not a bit.
I don't think so. So Dawn intentionally we didn't bring in our jackets. We didn't dress warm, although I do have on my kitty cat, my favorite kitty cat Christmas sweater. Yeah, it could be a little hot in here. This oven, warm. We feel the heat. There are multiple heat sources. It's warm. You won't be cold in here. So this shelf over here contains some past projects, and I'm really digging the Halloween ones. The birthday cake's pretty cool too. He always posts the project on Facebook because we won't really get to see the final when we leave here tonight, because he'll have to put it in the kiln or whatever, that fancy thing that lets it cool down without cracking into 5,000 pieces. It takes 24 to 48 hours, depending on the size of the piece, to cool it down where you don't have to worry about it shattering.
This first part's going to be the snowman, and this is going to be solid. So I'm working on a solid pipe called a hunting rod, and I'm going to get some glass out of our furnace. And do absolutely nothing to it until it cools down. on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week when we're operating. It's 2100 degrees Fahrenheit inside there. And there's a big ceramic bowl called a crucible that holds our molten glass. We only melt clear glass in our furnace, so to make it color, we buy pre-made color glasses that we have laid out in various containers right now, and we can add them onto the glass during any point in the process. So right now I'm just getting all the glass I need to make this snowman, and I'm doing at least 2 gathers out of the furnace, maybe 3. We have to let it cool down in between gathers because it would just be too floppy if we tried to get all the glass we need at once. So I'm going to let it cool down, which means it firms up, and then I'll go and get another coat of clear glass on top of this. I always take times like these to make sure my tools are where I want them, and sometimes just arrange them for no real reason whatsoever. It gives me something to do. Or take a nice sip of hot tea. Alright, I'm going to go get another coat of clear glass.
So Mike says we're making a snow globe, and first up is the snowman for inside the snow globe.
I'm going to do a heavy stripping gather, Nick.
Sounds exciting to me.
Because I'm worried that 2 gathers wouldn't be enough, but I think 3 would have been too much. So I'm just going to go ahead and let all the strip all melt over. Now I still need more glass, but I am going to go ahead and shape this a little. And I'm going to do that just by rolling it on this steel table here. This table is called a marber, M-A-R-B-E-R. Comes from the French word for marble. A few hundred years ago, instead of using steel tables like this, we used big slabs of marble. I have never done that. One day I want to try it and see how it feels. But we use that as a shaping tool by doing what you just saw, rolling it on there. But it also acts as a temperature control tool. A good portion of what we're doing when we're working hot glass is just managing the heat in some form or fashion. If we can get that heat profile to what we need, then the shapes practically make themselves. Slight exaggeration, but not that far off, to be honest. And the steel sucks the heat out of the glass real fast. One more gather, just waiting for it to cool down a little bit more. I have some of these tools over here. Again, letting a lot drip off because I remember the hats when I had it.
When he goes over to the water table, he's cooling the handle so he can touch it with, you know, water.
So the pipes do get a little hot while we're working sometimes, so we have this nice indicated tight cooler here. And we'll pump water over them to cool them down for us. So I got all the clear glass I need. I'm now going to roll it in some white glass. We call this frit. And when glass is hot, it's basically sticky to other glass. So the little chunks of white glass stick right to it, and then I can melt it in. I'm going to put about 2 or 3 coats of this white on. White on, the opposite of white off. Oh, I was thinking of white out.
Yeah, no snow.
So, we're buying color glass from a company in Germany that's made specifically for glass blowing. Glass is very touchy. You can't just mix and match any random glasses together. The short explanation is that all materials have an expansion rate, and with glass, if you combine together 2 glasses that have incompatible expansion rates, then as the pieces are cooling, they will crack or explode. And the scary thing is it may not happen right away. So you've got to be sure that you're only combining together glasses that have compatible expansion rates. And so this is made by a company in Germany, has an expansion rate that fits the glass in our furnace, so everything's good. The colors are also made intentionally very saturated because they are meant to be blown or stretched thinner. I think you go ahead and take that color thing off the marker. Yep. Thank you. Yep. So I'm just getting it hot. I'm going to shape it a little. Okay? Yep. So I'm using a handheld wooden tool here called a block. Basically a handheld wooden mold that we use to get some initial shape to the glass. They're made out of wood, and as long as we keep them wet, they don't burn up. A lovely thing in physics called the bacon thrust effect. Basically, the glass and the wood, a temperature difference causes the water to instantly turn to steam, and it forms a little protective barrier, keeping the wood itself from burning up. All right. Like I always tell students, make it look like a Q-tip. And it looks like a Q-tip. Okay, it looks like an off-brand Q-tip, but a Q-tip nonetheless. Relax my jacks. What? Yes, thank you. I always forget something. Being a snowman, naturally we want the balls to decrease in size. So I'm going to go ahead and get that conical shape. Okay.
Oh wow, he has the 3 snowman balls now. It's pretty cute, pretty cool.
You were going for organic. What? You were going for organic things. Okay. Pretty happy with that shape. I want those little, they're going to call it the little connections between the balls. I don't want them to be so pronounced. I'm just thinking about when you're making a snowman, it doesn't have a...
My feeling were always loves that I spent like solid block of life.
Although I spent most of my life in Virginia Beach, I've never made a snowman. What?
I've only seen snow 3 times in my life.
Alright. So, I think we got the basic shape of the snowman done. So, Nick, I'm going to let you take this. So, to draw some of the details on, we're going to be doing the eyes and the little buttons made out of pulp. I also these stringers, just some black glass into a thin rod earlier today. Actually, I made these 2 weeks ago. I pulled orange earlier today. And we're going to use a oxypropane torch right here and literally draw little dots on. Waiting for it to stop moving. You think it stopped moving? It's going to be off-center, but it's straighter. The whole thing had kind of a curve to it, but even though now it's off-center, the balls are kind of a straight line. All right, everything's good? Yeah. Red, don't flash. Yeah.
technique we haven't seen. We're able to see the eyes and the buttons, and he's now adding the nose.
Need more of the rod now.
Actually, go give it like a 1 second, 2 second flash. I need to build up a mass. Yeah. We're gonna put on the carrot nose.
That is pretty cool. Wow. Definitely has a face now.
Heat the whole thing for a few seconds to help maintain a hot temperature. It's so important I made a sign up there. Flash, flash. When you're learning how to blow glass, you have stuff crack and explode on you all the time because you didn't flash properly, it got too cold. And then you go inside the hole, which is also 400 degrees, just like the furnace. It's too much for it and it explodes. Yeah, thermal shock works both ways, up and down. I feel like it's more temperamental going down than it is coming up.
So the gentleman at the back is working on the scarf. Shaping glass is often a team sport. Takes more than one person.
Are you worried about the nose losing its shape?
Yes. I'm flashing as little as I can get away with. That's a good question. That is a problem when you're dealing with, especially like sculptural things in glass, when you get thick areas and thin areas on the same piece, because their heating requirements are way different. So that's why we have all these accessory torches. Sometimes you have to be using like a torch to add heat in areas because you aren't able to do it in the hole.
Oh, he's doing the arms.
Oh, so there's a scarf coming, but this isn't.
That's the scarf.
It's a scarf.
It's the scarf. Yeah.
You know, is this the time to mention I've never actually made a glass snowman? I know they're kind of like a common item, but I've never made one. So.
Isn't it just 3 paperweights stacked on top?
That might have been easier. What color did you make the scarf?
It's red.
Red.
Yes, a question. Yes, that's next on the list. I kind of do want to. Should I try to get those pointed out in the square? Okay. Nick can start on the top hat. Actually, I'm going to end that one. Thank you. Nick brought a metal paddle that's a sculpting tool for me. But think I'm making it worse.
So he's shaping the hat now.
So the whole thing's a little off center, which is making this shaping really obnoxious.
Was there a question, Scott?
Yeah, how do you decide to do the hat lash versus the buttons and the scarf and all that? I mean, the order of that.
Honestly, for his experience, I can't say this all process exactly, but I can say that if the longer that you make it, the more realistic the piece actually gets. Honestly, I've seen him make like faces for simple like this, and just watching this is simple.
It's looking like a hat.
Yeah, if the whole thing was on center, this would be easier. I'm having to like sculpt it, whereas before I can just roll it.
And also, buttons first, they're flat in the body. They're not going to be mirror flat.
I'm okay with that kind of stylistic hat. Alright. About 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and so we can just park things in there and keep them warm for when we're ready to use them. Yes, seconds, and I immediately go gather again. It doesn't get the same amount of glass that I was getting earlier when I really let it cool down. I call it like a dip and a half.
When he gets enough glass, he's gonna come dip it in this
And I'm
green
gonna make
stuff.
these green. Ooh, I just cleaned this last night. I don't want to get it rusty. I did it again. Yeah, this marble is made out of just plain steel, so it rusts if you look at it the wrong way. And I just dripped water on it. We're gonna do about 3 coats of this green. Okay, that's part of the table. Going to marble it to get it into a nice clean shade. But it also cools the outside a little bit. Now I'm going to blow some air into the pipe. And cap the pipe while I'm blowing. And the heat of the glass will expand that air. And in a moment you should see a bubble start to form. There it goes. So I'm going to be dropping this into a mold that's going to give it some ribs. So I have to get the bubble to a specific shape, basically very even wall. And I want the tip to actually be a little thinner because the tip of the mold tends to collect the glass so it thickens it up already. So this is now a hollow bubble of glass. And there's just some back and forth until I make sure that that tip is nice and thin. Cool the sides. Low. Actually see through there. A little more glass to get through. Now a little historical context here. Glass has been used as a material by man for probably about 5,000 years. The oldest dated artifact goes back to about 2500 BCE. So odds are good we didn't find the oldest thing. That'd be kind of amazing if we did. So they estimate about 5,000 years. Glass blowing though, putting the glass on a hollow pipe and blowing into it has only been around for about 2,000 of those years. Oh, that looks great. Okay. Got the bubble exactly how I need it, so now I'm going to get it crazy hot. If you want to put that like front and center right there. Let me marker it one more time to get it a little more pointy. Yeah. Famous last words. to put that rib pattern in the glass, and gets the name because of how it messes with the optics of the glass. It's not meant to be like a finished organ of itself. You're still meant to shape it into something after the fact. There are molds where you just blow into it and the piece is done. A lot of factory-made glass is done that way. Alright. So I got a rib pattern in there. Now, to maintain the crispness, I want to work as fast as I can because every reheat softens it.
He was not happy with the tree.
15 minutes fussing with that one, or I can just start over and get it in no time at all.
How's the snowman in the garage doing?
Thank you very much.
What was the question?
It's a snowman alive. Hello.
Oh,
He's doing great. Birthday is very happy.
So he wasn't happy with the tree. He put the rod in the discard bin.
yeah, the
And
problem
he's
was is I
redoing
made
the tree.
first little bump there just too small to begin with, and it was going to mess up every other part portion-wise. I think this one I'll just do one coat of this and one coat of the darker one. I was actually worried I needed more of that on the other one, and I don't really want to take the time to shoot 5 coats of green. Alright, done with the color, Nick.
Yep.
Already off to a better start. That's wider now. I'm happy. Get there a long time to heat it up would just soften the looks of the ribs. You don't even see it in the piece. The ribs by the pipe side are going to be crisper than the ribs on the tip, just because of all the reheats I had to do. So I try to work as short as I can get away with, so my heats are as short as I can get away with. So I don't want to lose a lot of heat. Where's my air gun? I got these shoots earlier this week too. Yeah, it feels really weird.
Yep.
I would say it's a pretty impressive looking little tree. I like it.
All right. Cooling down, and that will make it pull a slight vacuum. And so sealed vessels do run the risk of imploding. Now, certain things you can get away with, ornaments you can usually get away with just because of the small amount of air they're encapsulating, and also the shapes are usually have some good inherent strength to them. I just want to play it safe, and I want to make sure that this is not sealed off. And the way we're going to be attaching it to use as a tree, it would be right now. So I'm trying to make sure it has a hole at the top. But I also don't want the shape of it to tell us. Yeah, we'll go with that. I don't think I'll ever get it to the hair shape I'm going for. Alright, get ready to snap. I'm going to go ahead and put some snow on this tree. We're probably going to put snow on the whole thing, but we're going to do it now too. So Nick, go ahead and get ready. We have some white glass powder that we're literally going to sift it right on. I'm going to be at a super low angle, just FYI, Nick. Yep. Oh, we're just going to put it on one side like it was a blizzard blowing in. Ready?
Since they're sifting glass, I assume they're doing it where there's a hood. Yeah. Don't want to breathe in glass particles. Oh wow, it's really frosted.
So we're applying this over in our powder booth that has a ventilation, filtered ventilation, if you remember to turn it on when you're doing it. That way we minimize the risk of exposure to airborne glass dust.
It tastes very sweet.
One more. Yeah. This is heavy snow, man.
Heavy snow.
Alright, can you keep the foot pedal for a second?
You can see when it comes this way that it looks like it has snow. Pretty cool.
Alright, now I have to straighten the whole thing out, but I just noticed I let it get a little off. Alright, so we're going to let this cool down a little bit. It's going to go in the garage, and we're going to make the base, and then we're going to assemble the whole thing. This is taking longer than I anticipated. Blow really hard. I think it's not at all, right? No. No. I think it's broke. Okay, right here. All right. Good luck. No. Good. Famous last words.
Ooh, more power tools.
I think we lost our hole. I think it got sealed off with snow, so we're just going to ream it back out. This is a tungsten rod and a drill. Tungsten doesn't stick to glass the way steel and stainless steel does. Okay, go ahead and stop. Okay.
You don't have your sleeves on tonight. You're
I
Us-
forgot them. I
usu-
thought so, man.
usually you have sleeves.
All right, when I was doing the snowman, there were times where I wish I had them on. All right, glass gather. This is something where I don't mind having too much glass because I can adjust the thickness. We do have a maximum diameter with thickness, so this is going to be the base for the thing. And it is going to have to go in the garage at some point, so our maximum diameter is what will fit in the garage. I did measure that, and that's some calipers over here with that. Okay. I think I'm just going to do the rest of this. Alright. This color opal brown is a very red brown. Think like deep mahogany. I know it doesn't look like much in the container. That is opal brown, right? That does look almost like opal. It is opal brown. Okay, excellent. Doesn't look like it in the container, but once it gets fired on or melted in, it will be dark. Alright. The marble can be moved back to its normal place and the color can come off. So using one of those blocks to get it into a symmetrical shape.
So this is the base of the snow globe, and it's wood, simulated wood color.
Grab some paddles because you noticed I forgot them. Okay, we can basically double the current diameter. So I'm just using a newspaper pad here. Same principle as like the block. And a wet newspaper pad, as long as we keep it wet, it doesn't burn up. Now saying that, it has limits. We can usually get about a week of use out of one before it just disintegrates on us. You may have noticed I spun really fast at one point. I was letting centrifugal force spin this out into a disc for me. About an inch. No wider. I could have used a little more glass. So just be on standby.
So he starts having to open the door when the piece gets bigger, and he can't go through the little small hole. So the fancy rod is a door opener.
I was intending to make a base that had like a nice like OG curve on it, but I need about an extra quarter inch of thickness to do what I was going to do. So I think we're just going to have to go with kind of a simplistic base. That's okay. Can you go get the other pair of calipers off the wall? I want to take a measurement here for how many openings there have to be on the jar. If you want to babysit this, I'm going to start bringing parts. All right, y'all, by vote. Do you want the snowman? Let's put some snow on it first. Just in case we don't get to doing snow after the fact, let's put snow on it now. Sure. But I was going to ask, should we put the snowman or the tree on first? I don't really have a preference. I think the tree might be a hair easier. As long as we don't overfire it on, it will maintain that texture. We'll fire it on enough just to stick so it doesn't fall off, but not to actually let it melt and smooth out. Oh, there's actually a very lovely form of glass casting called Pat de Verre that relies on that. They mix up, that's actually what it stands for, a paste of glass, Pat de Verre. They mix up a paste of powdered glass and usually like gum Arabic. So that paste of glass and gum Arabic is packed into a mold that they've already pre-made, and then it's fired in a kiln, but just hot enough that it all fuses together and doesn't like flow and melt together. Pat de Verre casting has a wonderful soft look. And they can also do things like get gradients and colors by varying the mix as they move in. Lovely stuff. The Gucci's. I can't remember their first names. They're some of the best Pat de Verre casters out there. Yep. I wish I had like little stamps of like feet that would like press it into the snow. We got bees. What? We got bees. Bees. Oh, bees. That would look like little birds. Yeah. Great. You go ahead and babysit this. There you go. I'm going to the journey. Oh, the tree was already over. Maybe that's why you suggested the tree. Yeah. a favor to Nick. I'm going to handle the maneuvering things around the garage. I always stress him out by getting him to do that usually. Yeah.
Not very good at it.
Well, it's not bad. It's like usually it's on super fine punties and like one wrong move and it's now on the ground. And I'm like, hey, can you still get that for me? What did I do with my... Remembering that I need my glasses and I already taken them off. Oh, they're on my head. Okay.
Up faster, but that was a 50% chance just in the shadow of the floor than inside the hole we're going to clean it. The shadow's there, it's not coming out. The floor just smells bad. And he's currently for the torch to make the break-off point much sharper, so it just comes off much easier whenever he gets over here.
Tree is now on the base.
That felt pretty solid once I really switched it on.
It feels solid, yeah.
Oh, really? No, you switched it down. I want to look at it. I'm making sure we can fit the snowman. Oh. I think so. I think I put that a hair too close to the edge. Let me go flash and we'll do a quick test. Oh yeah. It's going to be tight, but I think we can do it. Okay, sure.
Although he could make two, I think it'll look cooler if they're on the same piece of art. So he disconnected the snowman from its pole.
I wanted to have two contact points, so it's attached to the tree as well. I don't know if you noticed that. What?
I wasn't looking.
Oh, okay. I was trying to actually get it more towards the center to make it easier to get something around this so we didn't have to make it a giant dome. Alright, I think we're going to call that good for the overall arrangement of the base. We need to get a hole and drill into it because I forgot to do it before we attached everything. So, Nick, I'm going to hand this off to you after the next flash. We're going to have the back up. We'll put the hole in the back so it's not as obvious. But, keep it rolling, but it will be back.
Time for another drill. A hole.
Okay, backside up. Go flash. Yeah. It's taking longer than I anticipated. Thank you.
So he's going to do some gathers now for the gnome, for the actual globe.
So you also just want to see me gather a whole bunch of clear glass and blow a big bubble in it. Good time to take a restroom break or hit the concession stand.
So he's blown an air bubble through the tube now.
Yeah. Hold on.
This is the third gather and at least one more. So that was the last gather. I think it was 4.
Really?
It's about 5 pounds of glass now.
The issue, it's leverage issues. Because even like the heaviest piece of glass, I mean, definitely there's been 60, 80, 100-pound pieces of glass made in the hot. All the glass I need. I just need to get it into a good shape, and then we can start blowing. I like to make it, well, like a Q-tip. But I'm also sucking some heat out of the front. Not as important with this one, but we are still going to be punting to it. This would actually be a three-person job almost. I just realized. You're thinking it already, weren't you? When you described the project. I was just thinking about just blowing this into a sphere. It's almost a three-person job. All right, I got a Q-tip-like shape. Oh, that's more neat brand Q-tip there.
Yeah.
Keep it all we got?
One person blows, the other person works the glass.
Can you find my water bottle? I got the door.
Under the beat vent.
Underneath.
Blow, shape, repeat.
Okay, that looks great, man. Thank you. Let me torch, please. I want to flash. Just to be safe, I want to add a little extra heat when the jacklights go. I'm also going to do the blow hose because I will do air in the jacklight. And I'm catching the calipers. You get the blow hose out and the calipers are all kind of wrapped up in there, and I can't do it one-handed.
When it gets big, they start flashing outside of the kiln. Wow. Wow.
I'm out of air.
I bet.
This is golf, argues this. The fact that you did all that at once is a lot. For one, you might notice now our forearms are insane. But yeah, it's all crazy. was that close to something with that much radiant heat. That's why you have so much in hand positions and everything. Yeah. Even with like almost 20 years of experience, that's unbearable.
It was still hot.
Yeah.
Way to go,
I
Mike.
do need to actually make the bottom a little dumbier because we have to make an opening this big. And that's where Nick's idea of, you know, we'll just make it after the fact. It's a better idea.
It's an option we have.
I didn't measure the height. I think it'll fit in there, right? It's going to be more like a bell door. Okay. Nick is like, yes, thank you. Right door?
Yes, right door. Sorry about that.
So he's going to move it to the other rod. He's going to put the rod on the end where the top of the ball is. He said they'll grind it flat at the end after it's cooled and it's come out.
To break this off the blowpipe and flip it over. A common type of punty, a dome punty, is meant to not leave anything permanent. It just leaves a little dimple in the glass where it was pressed. Well, assuming you do it right. But I'm doing a sculptural type of punty that is intentionally fused on. And so when we break it off, it's going to leave a patty of glass that we'll have to grind off after the fact. Get the front hot. And bring it over. When we're actually ready to break off, I'm going to have you pinch the jack line itself with the jacks. I'll kind of give you further instructions. Okay, open please. Spin real fast. So I'm putting in another constriction there, a jack line, just like before. And that's where we'll actually break it off. I'm not going to go crazy because I don't want it to be fragile, and we can always tighten it up with a torch later if we have to. What's that?
Maybe like 10 more seconds.
Yeah. Enough. When you're ready, I want you to, or when I'm ready, I want you to pinch like that. That was so much easier than that black sphere we did a few weeks ago.
Yeah. I was supposed to pull my
That black sphere was like the hardest thing I've done in a long time. It was bigger.
It was bigger, but also.
Nah, I think I'm just gonna go with the. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Glove, I need a glove. Right hand. You roll this one, sorry? That works good.
Wow.
Nick, I think I'm going to need some shielding on my upper arm.
there's a lot going into getting both pieces the right temperature for joining.
Scale-wise, I like it. The moment of truth, y'all. I can test this up real fast.
So they'll break it off of there and then carry it to the kiln with this special gear on. I don't know if it's called a kiln. Yeah. He's gonna catch. Nick's gonna catch it and then place it to where it can cool slowly. But you gotta have special gear to do that.
Just gonna let it cool down a little bit, and then we're gonna put it away. So it is a nice little winter skate. I do have a giant black sphere. I can cut that and put it on top. You want the magic 8-ball of little snow globes? What? Alright, I'm going to do one more flash. And then we will take it off. Putting a little water on the constriction. Alright, go ahead and just grab it by the sides. Like that. Perfect.
Jules is taking us out of town and we're headed home through Wendell to see the Lake Myra lights. We may not have a lot of time, but we're going to see what we can see.
Right. Absolutely. Well, this is pretty.
Yep. Farmville's a nice little town. There was an occluded side cameras message up and I'm like, our cameras are fine. We see that sometimes at night. I just wanted to say that we've been coming to see Mike since 2017 when they first opened the GlasStation. He teaches classes for East Carolina University and the community college as well at the GlasStation, which is part of the ECU offsite art program. Dawn, several years ago, took one of Mike's classes and created me a paperweight, which is in the curio cabinet. You can go back and search on GlasStation. It's just glass, and it's 2 S's, not 3, station, one word on our channel, and you'll find the other times we were over here for other demos and Dawn's class, etc., etc. Mike did have an oops there with his partner at the end where the glass globe fell to the ground. Mike is awesome, and he will live to build a globe another day. I was super impressed with how round the globe was right up until the last minute. There was a little miscommunication, and what happened was the globe wasn't lined up on the base. The hole was a little too big for where it was going, so Mike had to be super precise about where he was aligning it, and then things just went awry. But I applaud him and his partner Nick for the demo tonight. They did a great job. I'm sad the show really did stop at 10. They said the power company told them they used up all the power they could use today. But then they still playing that little piddly music back there, but they won't put the lights back on. Yeah. Can I contribute some money to the electric bill for tonight and then run it for 15 more minutes? Wow, we don't have to drive through this one, Donnie. Right. We get to walk through it.
It's kind of neat.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. And neither Don's not walking straight or I'm not walking straight.
Oh, I've had nothing to drink.
You're bumping me.
These are LEDs.
Are they?
Yeah, the ones across the street were incandescent.
I'm filming us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was checking out the LEDs.
Get with the program.
I'm sorry. She's sweet at Christmas. She really is. Don't go by her videos.
Oh God. rained while we were gone.
Yep.
Roads were wet and there was a little bit of puddles. Did we get it here too though?
No, I saw some it just didn't rain enough to get it under the trees.
Under the
wet.
trees, but it rained. Okay.